Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel and to the first official planned sewing vlog. It's Monday morning, well, it's technically still morning, it's 10:30 about. I have a day off today because something was supposed to happen that should have needed my input, or will still need my input when it actually does happen, but it's not happening today and we only found out about it yesterday. So I get an extra day off because who doesn't want one of those? The plan this week is to finish this pirate shirt because I want to finish this pirate shirt. God damn it. It's not supposed to be this long a project, but I mean, honestly, I haven't been working on it as diligently as I could have, so I might as well try to get it done this week and make it an actual priority. I should be able to get a lot of the hand sewing stuff done during meetings, because since we are back in lockdown, I mean, my team has not been working at the office since March of last year, almost a year since we have officially been at the office. So all of my meetings are remote, which means that, what is happening here? Anyway, it means that I can do hand sewing very handily while I'm at the meetings. I often knit during meetings at the office, and I have been knitting through most of the meetings while out of the office. But now I'm doing hand sewing during the meetings because I am finishing this freaking shirt, even if it kills it. Come on. There's a knot in my yarn thread right here where I'm trying to sew it. How dare. Come on. Nope. The yarn thread broke rather than, yep. Nope. Well, that's fun. Anyway, the goal for this week is to finish this pirate shirt, assuming that it's going to let me. And also get... So I started over the weekend, I started working on the Harrison shirt by Cashmerette by Cashmerette. Basically, my start of starting to work on it was just me cutting out the pattern pieces of the fabric and the interfacing. And so I would also like to be able to finish that shirt, if at all possible, this week, so that I could maybe move on to other projects. And other projects means that I probably need to start attaching the PDF patterns, the pattern pieces together. PDF patterns are great in many ways. They're just not all that wonderful for putting them together, because it takes a really, really long time to do that. And it sucks. It's like hand sewing for me. It's tedious and slow work that just needs to be done. So yeah, I realized last week that I do not have enough pajama pants, or rather just any kinds of comfortable pants that I can lounge around in, but preferably ones that I could also wear to bed when it's cold outside, because baby, it's cold outside. That, by the way, that song has an interesting history. It's, at the time, it was basically understood that the woman in the song wanted to stay, but she kind of needed permission, and it's cold outside was the permission that she needed. And that speaks to things that are all kinds of fucked up. By the way, these are my fabric shears, and these are currently the only sharp scissors that I have in this room, and that is not good. I need to figure out how to get my scissors to be something like sharp at some point in the near future. But for now, I'm cutting my thread with massive fabric shears because that's my life right now. Anyway, baby, it's cold outside. Yeah, it is. It's not really cold outside anymore. It's getting warmer, and it is kind of weird. It's supposed to get colder again, but I don't know if it's actually going to. But for now, at least, it's actually pretty warm outside. It's above freezing. The snow is melting, the ice is melting, all kinds of fun things happening. And I'm not sure how to feel about that. On the other hand, since we are going back into quarantine and my gym is actually closing this time, unlike it did in the spring, it will be good to be able to actually run outside, because I'm going to have to find some way of keeping up my training, because I have done 6 months of work in that direction, and I'm not willing to give that up for quarantine. And hopefully it's going to be fine, but I don't actually know that it's going to be fine, but we will see. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I'm going to continue on with this. I'm sewing the reinforcement patch in inside of the neck slit so that the seam is not the thing that's, or rather the end of the seam is not the thing that's taking the brunt of the strain when, for example, putting this shirt on and off and putting this shirt on and taking it off. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to keep doing that for a while longer, and I think at some point I'm going to need to work on some writing things, but for now this is what's happening until I'm done. After that, I think I should probably either finish fixing the second sleeve. Yeah, that's probably the wisest course of action. Finish fixing the second sleeve, and this thread is very knotty. It tends to form knots very easily, but it's my only white cotton thread, so there we go. And I do not own linen thread, and I was not going to wait for linen thread to arrive from probably Burnley and Trowbridge. Don't know if such a thing is even available from Finland. Although it should be, because linen used to be like a major thing from at least the Middle Ages, according to this handy book right here. So yeah, fun times when one's hobbies and one's fiction reading intersect. So anyway, linen used to be a big thing in Finland, and yeah, so fixing the sleeve, pressing both of the sleeves, and by then I should think that the next load of laundry is done, which means that it would be time for me to head on over downstairs to take the laundry into the dryer, or the drying thing, and put in a new load of laundry, and that's just fine and dandy, all of it. So yeah, writing, sewing, all those kinds of good things. At least there's time to do all of it. Since my partner is working, I need to try to keep out of his way while he's doing that, so that I'm not bothering his meetings, which would be nice. Yeah, you'll see me do things. Two shirts this week. Goals. Hashtag goals. So I just realized that I can't actually finish sewing the second sleeve, this one, before I take care of this situation. This is the one that I felled earlier, and the felling it was very successful, let me tell you. So I need to press this flat again before I start sewing it, so I figured that I might as well press the other sleeve as well while I'm here, because it's gonna be a time. Yeah. And there goes my Pomodoro again. It does want to keep happening while I'm filming for some reason. Some unknown reason. Although I've been filming a lot more than I usually do, so maybe it's that. Could be. The annoying thing about linen is that it needs a lot of pressing and just ironing once it's done. Once you're done with the thing that you're making. There we go. That is back to being workable, which is good. And now to press the other one, because it is a good idea to press your seams before you fell them, because that way you have a better chance of making it pretty, both on the inside and the outside. The funny thing is, when I never used to press my seams during the actual work. Honestly, I couldn't be bothered. Then I started my Foundations Revealed membership, and Barbara Black, one of the mentors on Foundations Revealed, had this class that was basically all about, I think it was a class, that was basically all about pressing and how important it is to press and what a dramatic difference it can have on your end result. So I started pressing, and what do you know? My end results started improving. How dare. It was very frustrating that such a small thing could have such a big difference. But there you go. And here we are. That's the additional piece that needs to be felled soon. Honestly, I think after I sew the additional piece to the other sleeve, I think that I'm going to be done with the pirate shirt for today. Mostly because I don't want to sit around felling my seams when I could be using that time for other things. Especially since I'm pretty sure that I've got a number of meetings tomorrow, which means that I could totally use that time for felling my seams, because most of the time I don't actually need to be available for, or most of the time I don't need to use my hands when I'm in meetings, and I can just focus on the things that I need to think about, but I don't need to use my hands for anything. And felling seams is actually pretty great for that, because it gives my hands something to do. There's this song in Finnish called Levottomat jalat, which is basically, it translates to restless feet or restless legs, either or. And I have restless hands. I just do. I really want to be able to keep doing things even when I'm not supposed to, you know? And yeah. I can't help it. And if I don't do something with my hands during meetings, my brain just goes basically fishing and comes up with things to think about that are not the meeting. And that's not very good for being present in meetings, you know? So I try to keep my hands busy either by, well, now felling seams, or by knitting. Knitting is very good for that. But we're done with the pressing. I'm gonna sew the extra piece on and then press the other sleeve again, and then take all of the sewing that needs to be done. I need to decide whether I want to add, because apparently I found this out recently. Let me see if I can. So here's the neck. As you can see, the gaping neckline. This is basically the shoulder point right here. So apparently it was usual for men's shirts to have a gusset at each shoulder point. And I'm still wavering on whether or not I want to add that here, or if I'm just gonna do it exactly the same as Bernadette did. Another Foundations Revealed group member had made this shirt for herself, and she was also, shall we say, rather gifted in the bosom department. So she had this problem of the shirt pulling between the shoulder and the armpit, something like that. And one of the solves for that was for her to turn it or add the gusset, and I think I might need to do that as well. So I'm still trying to decide if I should or should not. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna do the things, and then I'm going to take all this felling to my desktop where I'm gonna be working tomorrow, and I'll either go do some writing work at that same desktop, or I will start work on the Harrison shirt. In any case. Good evening. I am basically done with today's sewing. Funny thing happened. Every time I tried to film today, I had run out of battery. So I've recharged the battery on my camera like 3 times today? 2 times today? I'm not even sure at this point. Yeah. I've been filling the seams on the pirate shirt while I'm at work meetings and watching lectures for revision season, which I'm taking from Alana K. Arnold. I've really enjoyed, this is week 7, and I have really enjoyed this class. It's really helping me think of revision in a, I want to say consistent, but that's not the word that I'm looking for, in a methodical manner. And yeah, I really like it. If there are still any writers watching this channel, I highly recommend it. Also, what is my hair doing? Like this. I have tried products, but nope. I let it dry on its own inside a towel for too long, and it dried in this weird cowlick formation. It'll go away by the morning, but anyway. So yeah, today I've been working on the Harrison shirt. Basically, the first thing she has you do, or they have you do, I think Cashmerette is more than just one person now. Anyway, the first thing they have you do is to bring the interfacing pieces down by the seam allowance amount, and I've done that on all the pieces while I was waiting for my battery to recharge, because things it is already past 10 p.m. and I had quite a brutal workout today with my trainer. It was the last session that we're going to be able to do in at least a month. We'll see if the numbers in Helsinki go down by the end of March, but at least until the end of March I'm not going to be able to see her or work with her. So we had our last training session, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm actually way too tired to start pressing these interface pieces to my fabric tonight. I am absolutely certain that if I try, I will end up interfacing the right side of one of my pieces, and since the pieces are pretty sorry. Since the pieces are pretty visible, it's the button placket, the cuffs, and both pieces of the collar. So it's a lot. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So far I'm really liking the Harrison shirt a lot. It's it kind of feels like an actual adult button-up shirt. I've made button-up shirts before, out of various commercial patterns. Most of them while I was a lot smaller, but you know, and none of them have the same sort of feel. Like, for example, the thing. What's the name with the name of the thing with the thing? Sleeve placket. The little thingy that you have at your wrist, above the cuff. That thing. It's a lot more elaborate on this one than I've ever seen, and I actually think that this one might end up looking a lot more professional than any of the other ones that I've seen before. And I really like that. I enjoy that. I like people being surprised when I tell them that I made something. I enjoy it. Because, let's face it, at least for me, a lot of my early attempts looked both in knitting and sewing, looked very homemade. Like, it was no question at all in any, you know. And yeah, I'm just excited about this shirt. I'm very excited about the yoke. It has a back yoke, and the back yoke is made in such a way that finishing it finishes all the ends of the seams that attach to it. And I'm really excited to try it out. Goodness. Anyway, it is time for me to go to bed because I'm very tired. And yeah, we'll see if tomorrow brings more advancements on either of the two shirts. And I'm sorry, but I just realized that I am going to have to name this episode of my vlog The Tale of Two Shirts. It's the law. I am powerless. Yeah. I'm off to bed, and I will see you tomorrow, possibly in pressing matters. It's time to press. So what I'm using is, I can't even remember what this fusible interfacing is. It's basically a pretty sturdy woven material, and I figure it's gonna be perfect for this type of thing. My actual fashion fabric is this lovely, I can't make it show up. Anyway, it's this lovely Italian shirting cotton, and I am a huge fan of it. Just trying to figure out which way to the top, and then here we go. This is always kind of nerve-wracking for me, using fusible interfacing. We're gonna go down a bit. Making sure that everything is where it's supposed to be and not getting burnt and not leaving huge pockets of air inside or anything like that. I think that should more or less do it for this piece. Just, what, 3-4 more to go? One. Honestly, it kind of looks almost as if these pieces or this fabric is the same all around. So we shall see, I hope, because it would be very unlovely to find out that what I thought was the front side of a piece was actually the wrong side of the piece. I got a question on Instagram about what this thing is that I'm pressing. Well, the question on Instagram came from the post where I showed off my neatly pressed pirate shirt cuffs and collar, and they wanted to know what this thing is, and it's just a Marimekko, which is a Finnish brand. A Marimekko ironing board cover. I'm pretty sure I got it at like a it's basically a grocery store chain, Prisma, if that means anything to anyone. But yeah, it's basically a grocery store chain that also sells stuff like home goods and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's where I got this. It is in fact Marimekko branded. It is one of their poppy lines. But I did not want just a grey ironing board cover. If I'm gonna have to iron, it's nice if that ironing can happen on something that looks a bit nicer than just a grey ironing board cover. Because I do not like ironing. It is not one of my favorite things. I like what pressing and ironing does to the end product. I'm just not all that happy about the actual process. And here we go, final two pieces. That's the wrong side. So yeah, I'm having this weird resurgence of sewing enthusiasm lately, and I keep coming up with projects that I want to be doing that I don't have the fabrics or the materials for. Like, for example, yesterday I found out that the Muna and Broad Anyway, Muna and Broad what is it called? Swimming suit expansion set to some bralette. I can't remember the names of these things because I am terrible at names. I need to have names in front of me when I try to do anything. Anyway, their swimming suit expansion set for their bralette. It came with I found out that it comes with a tankini in as part of the expansion set, and the tankini has a built-in bra, and I'm like, I need that thing because it would be really nice to just have a bra or bralette inside a shirt, because that would mean not having to put on an actual bra. Because let's face it, the pandemic has not been kind to the bra market. Yeah, I think that is it. And I'm gonna go back to the day job now, because that is still a thing that happens. Good morning. Yes, it's still morning. Barely. It's still morning. Anyway, new hair. It's Sunday. Yesterday I had a hair appointment. I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I almost feel like the pink is too softly pink. I don't know. I'm getting used to it. I've had pink / purple and teal hair for so long that I'm not entirely sure what to do with with another color. Anyway, my sewing room is a massive mess right now, but that's gonna get sorted soon-ish. And what else? Oh yeah, well, I meant to cancel my hair appointment because, well, lockdown. Like, they are actually talking about instituting a curfew in Helsinki, and that's the first time during the pandemic that has happened. So yeah, I am a little worried. Anyway, because I was out anyway, I went to the local chain fabric store on my way, because they do these remainder bins where they usually only have like a meter or two off the end of a bolt, and they sell it at a good discount. And yeah, I really like going through some of them, especially the Italian shirting cottons and the Italian suiting wools. It's a good time. So I got me some purple shirting cotton, which is cool. I got me another purple, this time a gingham. I think it's a gingham. It's not a gingham. Anyway, this sort of stripy, squarey purple, and that's gonna be fun. And then finally this sort of plum that's sort of shot through with black, so that's gonna be fun. I got some power mesh, power net, whatever, for underwear projects that I really want to do. Some more of the same. This does not at all match my skin tone, by the way, but we will see. It will hopefully match something. And then I got some suiting wools. This is, I don't know if I can make you see it. It's sort of like a black shot through with, or a charcoal shot through with lighter gray. You can sort of see it on the report, the lighter gray. It's lovely. It's gonna be a very conservative trouser, probably the Jackie trouser from By Hand London, but that's okay. It's basically going to be well, that's my Pomodoro again. That means that I've been talking for quite a while. Anyway, it's basically going to be a wearable mock-up, because I have this amazing suiting wool that is actually 100% wool, and it's lovely and pinstriped and all that, but I don't actually want to use it for something that's not going to be worthy, you know? It was hella expensive, and that was not. I got like 10 meters of suiting wool all put together, and there's a road going down several stories down from here, but there's a tunnel right next to us, so whenever someone with a alarm, there's a word for this. Anyway, like an ambulance or a police car with their lights on goes into the tunnel, it gets amplified in very strange and wonderful ways. So yeah. Anyway, I also got this gorgeous chocolate colored suiting wool. I don't know if you can see just how delicious it looks. There we go. This side, the one with the light, is a lot more truer to life, I hope. Anyway, yeah, there's like, I think 6 to 8 meters of this brown stuff. There's gotta be at least 2 to 3 meters of the dark gray one. And these both together cost like 60 euros. So this is why I like shopping the remnants bins, because it's a lot cheaper than paying 30 euros per meter for the kind of fabric that I need and want to use. The trouble, of course, being that they never get the funnest ones. They're all very conservative looks, and I'm sure that these are not 100% wool, but you know, I don't actually care. There's enough wool in these that I'm good. Now I just need to find a place to store all of these, because I have this thing behind me that it's basically filled to the brim with mini bolted fabrics. So that's fun. Yeah. Anyway, I need to put these away and get to well, probably sewing. My partner is out right now with the dog, and after he gets home he's gonna make breakfast, and after that we're gonna watch a movie with breakfast. He said we were going to be watching Possessor. I'm not sure, but by the sound of it, it's a horror movie, and that's exactly right with breakfast. And yeah, today I really, really want to finish the Harrison shirt. And there's another. The break is over. Anyway, I really want to finish the Harrison shirt. The pirate shirt is not getting finished today. That's just not happening. But there are also 1,000 other things that I need to get done today. So I figure we'll see. In the meantime, I will see you on the other side. Okay, I think it's time to admit that there's just absolutely no more room until I shop the stash a lot more. I managed to shove these new fabrics in. They are very much not handled the way they should be, but they are inside the cupboard. And that means they're fine, right? Sure. Yeah, I think I am going to be shopping the stash for quite a while. Yeah. The projects are going to be coming from this massive pile of fabrics. And if they can't come from there, then I need to come up with a different project. So there. Now on to the actual sewing. Good evening. We have reached the end of Sunday. I did not finish the Harrison shirt, largely due to the fact that right after I shot the first video this morning, I slipped and fell ass first into a wall, and I'm pretty sure that I sprained the middle butt muscle. It's something gluteus medius or something like that. I'm pretty sure I sprained it. So I have been in pain for most of the day. It has not been fun. It has not been a good time for anyone, including my partner, who has been saint-like through the ordeal. In any case, I did not manage to sit still in any place to film anything. But I wanted to show this to you. I'm sewing the yoke of the back piece right now. And this is an absolutely cunning construction. I'm sure that they've taken this from somewhere, but I've never made a yoke like this before, and I'm not sure if it's my own laziness or just most of the patterns that I have been using not being as cunning as this one. But here we have a yoke. It is sewed down, right sides together to the back pieces of the shirt. Here, on the wrong side of the shirt, we have another yoke about to be sewn down. Another yoke. And once this is sewn, I'm going to sew the one on the outside to the front piece shoulders. And then the most cunning thing happens. We do this sort of rolling thing and just flip. It all goes out and somehow it gets attached. And it is the most cunning thing. It finishes off all these seams very nicely. I think I still might top stitch the bottom at the very least, because I've been top stitching my seam allowances. I don't know if you can see it here. No. Yeah, there's not enough light. But I've been top stitching my seam allowances to finish off the insides instead of felling them. I could have flat felled them, but I learned about flat felling after I had started on the project, so next time folks, next time. In any case, I'm going to sew this yoke, and the time is almost 11:15 p.m. and I really need to go to bed, but I really want to see this yoke come together. On the other hand, if I sew this yoke, if I finish this yoke today, I'm going to want to do the shoulders as well, because the rolling thing is A, mystifying, and B, very, very cunning, and I really want to see it come together, and that's not gonna happen if the time is very late. I'm going to sew this, and I'm going to send you all to the editing room, and I will show you the rolling thing tomorrow after I have finished the rest of the steps before the rolling thing. And you will see it next Thursday, because I am determined to do this vlogging thing in a way where I finish filming a vlog on Sunday and begin a new week and vlog and so on. We'll see how long it lasts, but for now at least I really like it. It's been giving me an excuse to sew, and it has been a huge boon. Yeah, I think I'm done for now. Apparently my dog has chosen this moment to join me here in the sewing room. Can I even show this dog to you? Because he has decided that this is the place to be. Naturally, right next to my sewing spot. So it might be time for me to just go to bed, because it looks like he might be able to stop me from getting my seat to where I need to be in order to sew. In any case, I will see you next Thursday. If you like this video, do all the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next week with more sewing. Bye.